Dominique. Now I'd like to bring up another segment of the Florida population that's affected by this vote. We have a very large area of Tampa right here that is largely Hispanic. They are being affected by this vote. So please welcome former Representative Bob Enriquez.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here today. And I am a former state representative from District 58 here in West Tampa. But really, I'm here today to talk to you just as a citizen. I'm not running for anything, thank God, and I'm not here to talk on behalf of the Democratic Party at all. I'm here to talk to you as a citizen of the state of Florida, as a native of the state of Florida, as a citizen of the United States of America. You know, in Florida, we know a little bit about voting problems. Back in 2000, we had a little issue, and we remember words like voter irregularities, and we remember voter suppression. There were instances in the Panhandle where voters were stopped on the way to the polls, or that there were people that had mysteriously there were roadblocks, things like that. That's what we think of in terms of voter suppression, don't we? We think of those kinds of insidious things. But there's nothing more insidious than passing voter suppression through the guise of a bill in the legislature. And I can tell you, if I was to ask anyone in this crowd, give me 5 issues that the legislature should have been dealing with back last year, I would imagine that voter issues were not anywhere on that, right? They might have talked a little bit about jobs or the budget or the oil spill, you name it. But I don't think there was anything. Frankly, this was a problem chasing a solution, okay? Or solution chasing a problem, I'm sorry. Where they created this problem. And it's not just here, it's throughout the United States, okay? It's part of the game plan. There's a number of the states, 10 or 12 states that pass similar laws. And we know what's going on here, folks. We know. It's really about the rights of people. And back in 2000, we had a very big issue here in the state of Florida. The outcome is not what's at stake here. But there's one thing we agreed upon when we went back in 2001, Republican, Democrat alike, when we started to reform our election laws in the state of Florida. And frankly, we were the model for the country in terms of reforming the state of the election laws in this country. And the one thing we all agreed on was that we shouldn't have less people vote, we should have more people vote. That we should utilize technology to make it simpler for people to vote, to make sure that their votes counted and that folks got out and that their voices were heard. I think that was universally heard across the board, whether it been Jeb Bush, okay, or later on with Charlie Crist fighting for a paper trail. We fought for those things. Now we're going back to the future. We're taking a step backwards. Okay? And we're saying, yeah, your vote will count, but guess what? You may not be able to cast your vote. That's wrong, and we need to stop it, and we need to fight back right now. And frankly, it's not going to work, okay? We can stand out here and yell and scream all we want and say, woe is me, but the bottom line, if they make it harder, then we work harder. If they make it difficult, then we fight harder. So if they say they're going to make it harder to vote, then we'll find a way to get people out to vote. Hey, we were hot. Listen, in the old days, it didn't matter if it rained, sleeted, or snowed. We got out there and we got the vote out. If we have to start putting people in the back of our cars again and taking them down to the polls on election day, we'll do that. But it shouldn't have to happen. How many of you ordered something over the internet during Christmas or over the holidays, or did that just yesterday? How many people have paid a fee or a fine or what have you? We trust the internet. We have technology. We don't have to go back to the dark ages. But the bottom line is they want the dark ages. They want to suppress the vote. They want to make it difficult. They don't want it to be convenient. There's no reason in the world that we should be doing this. We should fight hard against and continue to fight this GOP-led legislature and this governor that we have, to make sure that they don't criminalize our right to vote or make it difficult for groups like the League of Women Voters that no one can accuse of being a partisan group to not want to register people to vote anymore. Continue to fight, make sure your voice is heard, get out and vote regardless of if you have to climb over a 10-foot fence with barbed wire, get out there and vote when the time comes, and that's probably what they want you to do. Okay? But the good news is we're here today, we're going to fight, and there are folks out there that understand, regardless whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or just pissed off like the 99% are, that we're going to fight to make sure our voices are heard. Thank you.